Korthak the Bone Crusher stood 9 feet tall, his obsidian carapace, scarred from 1,000 battles across 17 star systems. As the reigning champion of the Galactic Deathworld Alliance, he had never encountered a species that could match the savage fury of the Gorthani people. His homeworld of Gorath Prime spawned creatures so lethal that other civilizations had designated it a Class X extinction zone, yet his species had not only survived, they had thrived, becoming the galaxy's most feared warriors. The massive arena on Nexus Station buzzed with anticipation. Representatives from dozens of Deathworlds had gathered to witness this historic moment, the first official contact with a species from an uncharted world called Earth. The preliminary reports were laughable soft-skinned bipeds from a mid-tier planet, with gravity so weak their bones should snap like twigs. "This will be over in seconds," Korthak rumbled to his second, Vexstar the Fleshrender. These humans apparently evolved alongside creatures they call rabbits and deer. How dangerous could they possibly be? The arena's force barriers hummed to life as the human representative entered. Korthak's 4 eyes focused on the figure, and he felt his first moment of uncertainty. The creature stood barely 6 feet tall, its pale skin unmarked by battle scars, wearing some sort of simple cloth covering. But there was something in its eyes, a calculating coldness, that reminded Korthak uncomfortably of the stalking gaze of a Gorath Prime shadow hunter. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of Earth's Expeditionary Forces," the human announced, her voice carrying across the arena with startling clarity. "I understand you wish to test our species' worth." The crowd erupted in chittering, roaring laughter. Korthak himself let out a bone-rattling bellow of amusement. "Little soft skin, I am Korthak the Bone Crusher. I have slain the crystal worms of Theshian V. I survived the acid storms of Melkor Beta, and conquered the iron labyrinths of Draconis Prime. What could a creature from your garden world possibly do to?" His words died as Chen moved. She didn't charge or roar or display the intimidation rituals common to all Deathworld species. Instead, she simply began walking toward him with an unhurried pace that somehow conveyed more menace than any threat display he'd ever witnessed. Her movements were fluid, economical, like a predator conserving energy for the kill. Korthak launched himself forward, his momentum enough to crush steel. His claws, each capable of piercing starship hull plating, swept toward the human in an arc that should have bisected her. Chen wasn't there. She had moved at the last possible instant, not with the desperate scramble of prey, but with the patient precision of something that had calculated every possible angle of attack. As Korthak's momentum carried him past, he felt a sharp impact against the nerve cluster at the base of his skull, a spot his species had never revealed to outsiders, yet somehow this human had identified and struck with surgical accuracy. His left arm went numb instantly. "Impossible," he snarled, spinning to face her. "You cannot know our anatomy." Chen's expression remained eerily calm. "Your species evolved from ambush predators. Your nervous system follows a similar pattern to approximately 47% of Deathworld species we've encountered. The vulnerability is logical." 47%? Korthak's remaining functional claws extended fully. "How many Deathworlds have you?" This time, Chen moved first. What followed was not a battle, it was a dissection. Every strike Korthak attempted was anticipated, redirected, or simply avoided. Chen moved like liquid death, flowing around his attacks while systematically dismantling his ability to fight. Pressure points that no alien should know existed were struck with pinpoint accuracy. Joints were hyperextended in directions that caused maximum damage with minimal effort. The arena fell silent as the galaxy's greatest warrior was methodically taken apart by a creature that appeared to be studying him even as she destroyed him. "Your homeworld's gravity is 2.3 times Earth standard," Chen observed, ducking under a wild swing. Your muscle density is impressive, but your reaction time suffers in this station's 1.2 gravity environment. She struck his knee with calculated force. Additionally, your respiratory system requires 18% more oxygen than this atmosphere provides, reducing your endurance by approximately 31%. Korthak crashed to the arena floor, his massive frame no longer responding to his commands. Through the haze of pain and confusion, he managed to gasp, "What are you?" Chen stood over him, not even breathing heavily. "We're humans. Our world might seem peaceful to you, but it's taught us something none of your death worlds have." She gestured to the stunned crowd. "You all evolved to be the apex predators of your respective worlds. You learned to dominate through strength, toxins, claws, or whatever advantage your environment provided." She knelt beside Korthak's paralyzed form, her voice dropping to a whisper that somehow carried to every corner of the silent arena. "Earth taught us to be the apex predator of apex predators. We learned to hunt and kill everything, including things bigger, stronger, faster, and more dangerous than ourselves. We survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, and plagues that should have exterminated us. We learned to adapt to any environment, hunt any prey, and eliminate any threat." Chen stood and addressed the crowd directly. "You see, we didn't evolve alongside just rabbits and deer. We evolved alongside cave bears, saber-toothed cats, mammoths, dire wolves, and thousands of other creatures that wanted to eat us. So we became something worse than any single predator." Her gaze swept across the assembled representatives of the galaxy's most dangerous worlds. "We became the predator that hunted predators. We studied them, learned their weaknesses, and systematically eliminated them. On Earth, we call this persistence hunting. We don't need to be stronger or faster than our prey. We just need to be smarter, more patient, and absolutely relentless." The silence stretched until Vexter the Fleshrender found his voice. But you're so small, so weak." Chen smiled, and every being in the arena felt their blood freeze at the expression. "That's what makes us perfect at it. No one expects the soft little humans to be dangerous. We look harmless, non-threatening, almost cute, right up until we've analyzed every one of your weaknesses and figured out exactly how to kill you." She began walking toward the arena exit, her footsteps echoing in the absolute silence. "Oh, and one more thing," she called over her shoulder. "We've been monitoring your communications since we arrived. We already know the anatomy, biology, and cultural weaknesses of every species represented here. Consider this demonstration a courtesy warning. As the force barriers deactivated and medical teams rushed to tend to Korthak, the assembled representatives of the galaxy's death worlds came to a terrifying realization. For the first time in their violent history, they were the prey. And somewhere in the depths of space, the rest of humanity was coming.